What's up, you guys? So, today, another day, another dollar. Um, I hope y'all been alright, taking care of yourself and your energy. Um, I just got on here just to really just talk about what I got going on right now. Um, I got an interview today uh, for a stocking position. It's just like merchandise stock, but I don't know if I want it. I obviously need it. I need a job. Well, I take that back. I don't need a job. And I say that humbly, but I need expenses. I need income to pay for the things I need to do and take care of the things I need to take care of. And along with that, it's like another job I think I might get. I'm gonna try to juggle two. But that's a lot, you know. So hopefully I can get the availability that I want, kind of schedule my own schedule a little bit while still working both jobs. If I can't, I can't. You know, it is what it is. But um, one thing I don't want to do is like commit to these jobs because I know I won't anyway. Like I'm as temporary as it gets, and I'm not gonna like just walk out and quit. But most of the times I usually will. And that's not like a reputation I want to have because I'm just going to be end up right where I am now, you know, just looking for a job again, you know, or looking for income. So, God willingly, if all things work out, then I save my money up and do what I need to do, then I'll be able to do what I'm able to do. I'll be able to, you know, open more doors if I manage my money right. But I don't know. I'm juggling so many different things at once. It's like I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to clock in. Like I hate to say that, but it's just like I don't know, cause I know time is like so valuable to me. Like time is like the only thing that I find worth value in this life. So if I'm not valuing my time with or without a job, it's like, what am I doing, you know? And all the things that I'm trying to do, like trying to create a creative space, a creative identity, and build things that I've been building. I don't want to say a job will get in the way of that, but it will, you know? Ideally, it will, because I won't have the time to always work on the things I'm working on because I'm gonna be working, you know? So I don't know. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm stuck between wanting to create the life I want with the time that I have and working a scheduled schedule, you know, for dependency of income so I can fuel that, you know, fuel this side. And I don't know. I don't want to depend on that though. But right now, specifically for me, I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm okay with doing what I have to do for the time being until I'm where I want to be. And I'm just making this video just to say like, don't ever be ashamed of taking a route that's not the ideal route that you want to take. But if it's for something positive, if it's for building yourself in a positive way, then there's nothing wrong with taking that route. You know what I mean? A lot of people are ashamed of working the position they're working. But if you have your reason why you're doing it and you're building towards that, it should be nothing wrong with it. You shouldn't feel ashamed to put a name tag on or work for someone else for that time being. If your ideal plan is to work for yourself and build your own, it's nothing wrong with that, you know? Like, it's nothing wrong with getting help from the outside parties. Because ideally, realistically, not everyone is put in that position where they can just have it all at once. Most people, they have to go elsewhere, to build upon that. So don't ever feel ashamed to work a job because it's not that serious. And at least you're working a job. A lot of people would do a lot of things for a job. And not only that, the working class, the people who work 9 to 5, overnight shifts, and stuff like that, they built this society. They built this world. You can't have businesses without workers. So a lot of people, they like to put down a job. They try to put down employment, but it's those employees that make the world as you know it. You know what I mean? On the business side, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's just where I'm at right now. Um, like I said, I don't know exactly how long I'm gonna be doing this, cause I do have other things I'm pursuing. But as of right now, I'm gonna have to save up to get the things that I need to get. And it's only like 3 real things. No, not even. It's a lot of stuff that I need to get. But the main stuff that I need to get and take care of, I'm gonna have to get this job real quick, to pay for that. Mainly cause it's just what you gotta. This is what you gotta do. Like, if you're blessed enough to have these things paid for by someone else or someone else taking care of you, like, that's a blessing. Like, know that's a blessing. If you have family, friends, whoever supporting your dreams or whatever you do, where you don't really have to come out of pocket that much, that's a blessing so much. And I think a lot of people, they take that for granted, where they have other people doing for them, or they have support. It's so hard to have a support system, a reliable support system at that. So if you have one, cherish that. You know what I mean? Not only cherish what you're doing in your own time, but cherish the ones around you that help you and want to see you do good and be great. But one thing I've always learned is you get the respect you look for or deserve when you've put in that work, when you've put in that time to yourself to do what you have to do to make the life that you want. You get a lot more respect when you sculpt that life yourself. And yeah, that's how I feel. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna try to. I'm not even trying. I am going to juggle my lifestyle, my daily routine within those 24 hours, rather if I'm working a 12-hour shift, an 8-hour shift, 4-hour shift, because I already don't get a lot of sleep. Um, I mean, at points in time, I was concerned about it, where like I'm getting 2 hours of sleep or less, or just up all night, up for 2 days straight. I used to think that like something was genuinely wrong with me, but then I came to a realization that that's not me not going to sleep or not being able to go to sleep. That's my intuition telling me that there's work to be done. You know what I mean? There's things I can be doing with this time I'm up. It's not like I'm just intentionally trying to waste time, just being up. I mean, sometimes that might be the case. I might be up all night just daydreaming or night dreaming. But ideally, if I'm not getting sleep or I'm up all day, I'm multitasking. And I'm not saying that's something I should be proud of. I dropped my dice. Bought some dice. But it's not something I should be proud of. Um, like multitasking, but you should be proud of that, to be able to work on multiple things at once. Because a lot of people can't do that. It's a skill. It's a skill to be able to juggle your life. You know what I mean? To be able to juggle multiple things at once. But I'm saying I have to focus on one skill at a time. I have to focus on mastering one skill and then on to the next skill. And like I want to be a master of all crafts, not literally all crafts, because of course, you can't do everything. But as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna try to do as much as I can and try to be able to become a jack of all trades, because that's what that is. If you're a jack of all trades, you can do all things. And I do believe that, the human can do all things. It's so much in this life that hasn't been discovered or hasn't been done fully to its fullest extent. But it's definitely possible, And I feel like there would be no life, there would be no human expectancy without it, without that potential, without that dream, that vision, So if you have that vision, by all means, chase it. Do what you have to do to secure that vision and make that vision, that dream into a reality. As cheesy as it may sound, as cliche as it may sound, it's a real concept, to be able to manifest the reality from your mind, And I understand these days, the way society is and the norm of the theatrics of how dramatic things are. I know it gets hard. You know what I mean? It's not an easy process, but taking that time to make it easy, make it easier on yourself and others, it'll show. It'll show that through all that hard pressure, all that pain, to be able to overcome that and overlook that and still be able to do what you have to do as a man or woman, child, to be able to overcome that and still achieve. It's a it's like a miracle, But like miracles, they're unknown. But when you've put in the work and time, you know that that's what you know what you've done to get to this place. You know what I mean? You know how far you've came. You know where you started. So even though it's a miracle-like achievement, you know that it's no facade. You know that it's no gimmick because you put in the real work. You put in the real pain. You know what I mean? You put in the real creation to make these things come into fruition. So when I take that time, I'm taking that time, And you should take that time. Always take that time to yourself to build. You should always be creating something. And yeah, that's just how I feel about things. Take inspiration. Inspiration is all around us. This life is so many things to take inspiration from. A lot of people think they like to confuse, copying one thing and turning it into another. It's not always that case, It's not always like that. Sometimes, you're just taking inspiration from something. If something looks good that you think looks good, why can't you say, hey, I got an idea that's even better, yeah, it looks like this, but it's better. It can do more. You know, it helps more. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from something and making it a greater thing. Take inspiration from yourself, the sun, the moon, the stars. You know, this life is for you to take. You know, anything you want with consent, obviously. You know, but um, yeah, that's really it for right now. I'm gonna go back to my studies, and I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm gonna try to be on here more. I know I haven't really been on social media like that. Actually, I think it's so loud. But I actually recently let go of some old accounts and stuff. I'm trying to start new, but right now um, I'm gonna try to be more on. I'm gonna try to be more on camera and showing y'all my process. But um, yeah. Until then.